Hi, Bible Art Journalers, and happy Easter. I wanted to come to you today, Resurrection Sunday, and share what the Vacaville Bible Art Journaling Collaborative did yesterday for our monthly meetup. And we did this technique here with like a whitewashed background and then the crosses. And I'm going to repeat the process on this side of the page so that you can see how we did it. First, you're going to want to pick 3 shades of acrylic paint. I just have the apple barrel here. We are going to use the paint scraping technique with our gift card. To get this really straight, clean line, we just went ahead and put a little bit of washi tape, and don't press it down too heavily, because some people are having trouble with it, like tearing the page when they pulled it back up. I had done lettering, so I'm going to just kind of try to work around my lettering a little bit. So you want to just do a little pea size onto the middle of your card, and then you're just going to scrape it on. I forgot one step here. I'm just going to slide this under to protect my other pages. And once you get some of this color, you want to leave some blank spaces, and this is completely random. Just take your next color. Got a little too much. Dab it off. You don't want it on too thick. And I find that going outwards when you get to the edges is a little easier so that the edges don't pull up on you. And just kind of wipe it off between colors. And I'm just gonna get all the places where it's still white. Oops. Yeah, that happens too. That's okay. One of my best advice to beginners is don't worry about mistakes like this, because when you have been journaling in Bibles for years, you will look back and because there's a little spots over here too, and that is just part of the process. And the more pages you do, the less things like that are going to upset you. Like, it's not about perfectionism. It's about just getting your creativity out on the page. Okay, so once you have this first layer done, let me kind of scoot this off. Then we're going to let this dry completely. And the nice thing about doing this paint scraping technique is that it does apply the paint very thin, and so it dries fairly quickly. So I will fast forward the video to when it's dry. Okay, I think it's mostly dry. So now we're going to take our card, and I've just made sure that I got all the colored paint off. And this time I'm going to run paint across the whole end, and I'm going to apply it in a kind of a thicker line. And we're going to work in small sections. I have some paper towel here. I'm going to start just kind of right here over these words that I'm trying to cover. I'm going to apply for like 2 inches and put it on fairly thick, and then set my card aside. I don't want this to get underneath. So I'm going to pick a place on my paper towel where it's clean, And I'm going to just kind of push down until I can see some of the color coming through underneath. And right in this section, I want to leave it a little whiter because I have those words that were originally printed on the page that I'm covering up. So let me show you in another section. Add some more white. I'll do it down here where I can really get in there and drag some stuff off. Okay. So apply it, and then quickly before it dries, a clean section on your paper towel, and just wipe away so that you're seeing some of the color between. I have enough extra that I'm able to do the bottom here. So just keep turning to a clean part of your paper towel. And you have to press pretty firmly with just the point of your finger. And just be careful not to rip your paper. Okay, now I'm going to do these two sections. Not quite enough paint. See, you got to keep reapplying the paint. Again, I'm not pushing as hard right here because I do want to keep those words covered. So most of my coloring is going to show through above and below those. Kind of working around my hand lettering there. Running out of clean spots on my paper towel, but here we go. So you end up with this sort of whitewashed with some of the background color peeking out. All right, and then we're gonna let that dry, but I will show you on another piece of paper how I did the crosses because I'm not gonna repeat them on this side. So let me move this out of the way to dry. I'm gonna put 2 blobs of paint on here. So for my first cross, I'm going to take another gift card and I'm going to run the length of the gift card, just the edge, through the paint. You don't want it to come up the side very much. You just want it to be right on the edge. And then you're going to put it down on your paper, on your Bible page, and just move it up and down. Looks like I still have some blue paint on there that's reactivating. Up and down. And then you're going to clean off just the bottom third maybe of that side that you were just using, just so that there's no paint on the corner that's going to transfer. And then you're going to take your other blob of paint and you're going to run just the center of the short side of your gift card through the paint. And that's what you're going to use to do your cross piece, which is going to be shorter. And if you do the whole end, then when you drag it, it's going to be too wide, especially if you're trying to stay in the margin here. So like I did here, you want these to be kind of smaller if you want them to have 3 in the margin. Okay, then since I have it on 2/3 here, I'm only going to re-ink those 2/3 because these other 2 crosses, I made them a little smaller. And then same thing for the cross piece, just the end. And then the 2/3 again. and then right in the middle again. And that's it. Just this little abstract, easy to do paint technique with just acrylic paint. So I hope you have a wonderful Easter. I know many of us are sheltering in place, and I hope you find a church online. I know lots of services are out there, and that you have a blessed day with your family. And I just thank God every day for his gift of his son, and especially to remember this time on Resurrection Day. Have a very blessed Easter. I hope you're well, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.